station of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game. Big Ten champions. Big Ten champs.
National champions, yes.
Oklahoma City bound the Oregon Ducks.
Awesome day to be a Duck, man.
Boom inside. Touchdown Oregon. He gets loose. Fires. Hit. Pops the three. Oh, yeah. It's all Oregon.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider.
It's about how to be a group of people that know how to love each other to the absolute fullest.
Pleasure, a joy to be with them each and every day, and I can't wait for the future.
It's just fun to be a part of a community that cares, that is passionate, and when we come together, powerful things can happen.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
We're going to talk Diamond Sports, and we've also got Chris Clayton, the voice of the Oregon women's team, joining us here in the Country Financial Studio, coming up to review the Oregon women's basketball season. A lot of fun coming with Chris Clayton. And talking about the Diamond, when we got off the air yesterday, we got word that Oregon softball was adjusting the schedule for Northwestern. So if you're live with us in the 1 o'clock hour, it's actually the top of the 5th inning now for Oregon softball. It's 5-3. Northwestern is leading in the opener. It's on Big Ten Network. Saul Galvan's got the call on KWVA here in the Eugene area and on kwva.uoregon.edu. I say all that because the first game, we thought we would be previewing the first game today. Instead, the first game of this 3-game series, I'm pointing at the TV for those of you that can't see what I'm looking at. It's already 5-3. So, adjusted schedule for Oregon softball. We'll break that down over the course of the show today. We're going to continue our conversation as well with Jess Drummond. Also, Courtney Nagel, Oregon women's tennis head coach, will be with us here coming up. Courtney Nagel's team is the only squad that is in town this week. Spring break at the University of Oregon. They're at Student Tennis Center starting on Friday at 2 o'clock. And for Duck baseball, another successful day against UC San Diego last night. Ducks are on their spring break trip and won 12-4 over UCSD behind senior Drew Smith and freshman Braden Jaxa's home runs. They were both absolute tanks to center field. Number 20 Oregon with a 12-4 win over UC San Diego. Smith's home run went 410 feet in the first inning, gave Oregon the lead before Braden Jaxa hit it 447 feet off the batter's eye in the 4th inning. Smith finished 2 for 6 with 4 runs batted in. Jaxa went 1 for 3 with 3 RBI, 2 runs scored. Jax Jimenez, Maddox Maloney, Gabe Miranda all reached base 4 times for the Ducks as Oregon's offense continues to look like it has found a rhythm with a lineup featuring Drew Smith cleaning up, and when Braden Jaxa gets in, giving Berkeley Mabius a day off, Oregon looks like the Ducks have 2 great options behind the plate. 3 Ducks had multiple hits in the game, led by Ryan Cooney going 3 for 6 atop the Oregon order with 3 runs scored. This after Drew Smith and Ryan Cooney both did not get on base yesterday. Saw a hitting streak for Cooney saw a on-base streak for Drew Smith and then they both were pivotal in Oregon scoring 4 runs in the first, 2 in the 4th, 2 in the 6th, 1 in the 8th, and then the punctuation mark with 3 in the 9th for Oregon baseball. A 12-4 win for the Ducks, who are now 21-4. Pretty solid. Todd Miles talked with Drew Smith post-game.
Yeah, we had a good plan going into the game. Threw me a fastball out over the middle. I just put a good swing on it.
Just the thoughts on the offense today. It seemed like everybody reached base a ton, a lot of hard hit balls. Even when you guys made outs, It seems like you were, right on the screws. Yeah, we work really hard every day in practice, so it's no surprise that our lineup is deep 1 through 9. So whenever we have days like today, I'm not surprised. So just proud of all the guys and thought we played well.
They really do have, I think, a very long lineup. That's Drew Smith talking post-game. Toby Twist got the start for Oregon yesterday. Michael Mechna picked up the win after going 1 2/3 innings in relief. And then Blake Crawford, Tanner Bradley, and Cooper Markham combined to get the last 9 outs against the Tritons without allowing a hit or walk with 4 strikeouts between them. Some depth in the bullpen, coming off a perfect game that was into the late innings for Miles Gostola 2 days ago. The Ducks get a 2-game series sweep of UC San Diego, a team that's top 30 in the RPI right now. Those are critical wins on the road for the Ducks, and it sets up a big weekend against UC Santa Barbara. Talking about how big this weekend is. Well, UCSB, since 2021, on the baseball diamond, UCSB has the best winning percentage of any team in the West. Oregon has the third best winning percentage of any team in the West since 2021. Two of the best teams on the West Coast squaring off. Two teams that often host regionals when we get to Selection Day on Memorial Day. These are two teams that might be put head-to-head. Who's going to host on the West Coast? We're already sitting here in the end of March talking about a postseason resume. Tremendous opportunity for Oregon baseball with UC Santa Barbara on the horizon. Ryan Milano's on the road with Oregon baseball. It's a 4:30 start on ESPN Plus tomorrow and a 4:15 pregame show with Ryan here across the Oregon Sports Network. It's also opening day for Oregon Pro Ducks. Major League Baseball opening day yesterday didn't go well for Giants fans. Netflix with a broadcast, though. Chris Clayton just walked in. I'll have to get his thoughts on that. Major League Baseball opening day, though. Best of luck to Spencer Steer, David Peterson, Johnny DeLuca, Ryan Nelson, and Garrett Clevenger, the 5 Ducks that are on opening day rosters. It's one of the best days of the year. It's a holiday, opening day around Major League Baseball. Acrobatics and tumbling last night, a trip to Hawaii. No vacation for the Ducks. Put together one of their most dominant displays, a 275.335 to 263.675 victory over Hawaii Pacific. The Ducks are sitting at number 2 in the latest NCATA rankings. They're 5-1, gained an early lead in the compulsory event, channeled that momentum throughout the duration of the competition, an eventual 12-point advantage over the Sharks. Ducks excelled in all 6 events, and now it sets up a showdown against Baylor here on the horizon. Number 1 and number 2 in the rankings will meet at Matthew Knight Arena here coming up shortly. In fact, I say shortly, it's in less than 2 weeks. It's on April 6th that Baylor visits Matthew Knight Arena for a 6 o'clock meet. Softball is in action today, moved up to an 11 a.m. start time. Again, another score check. It's now the bottom of the 5th. Northwestern leads Oregon 5-3, the first of 3 games for Oregon softball against Northwestern, with the game sliding up to 11 a.m. The rest of the schedule for the weekend is staying consistent. It will be a 4 o'clock Pacific time start tomorrow, and then a 10 a.m. Pacific time start on Saturday for Oregon softball against Northwestern. Today is also game day for Oregon lacrosse. Jess Drummond's team is on the road in Columbus, taking on a good Ohio State team at 3 o'clock. It's also on Big Ten Network. Fans get a little bit of a double treatment on Big Ten Network to Oregon Sport today. And talking with Jess Drummond earlier this week, you heard her review of the weekend and talking a bit about spring break yesterday. Now we continue that conversation today. Finals week now behind the Ducks, and spring break always a little bit of fun as we continue our conversation with Jess Drummond ahead of a 3 o'clock start against Ohio State for Oregon lacrosse. Road trip ahead.
Yes.
It's also a road trip for spring break and coming off finals week. So I wanted to take a minute to ask you about that. And just when you have finals week in the middle of a season, how do you handle that as a coach? How do you handle it as a student athlete? How do your student athletes handle it?
You do it. Like, right. We're super supportive. We have great resources here. Eli's been fantastic. You know, shout out to Eli. Yes, big fan. But he, we just constant communication. Like, if you have a final during practice or if you're final going up to practice, we can work around that schedule and kind of move what we can on our end. But the team is so great. We always talk about student first, student athlete. So
and your team embraces it.
Yes, they do. Yeah, because there's not a ton of opportunities to play lacrosse after college, and so it's not the end all be all. So you need to do well in school, get a college degree, and then go somewhere else and get a job.
And you talk to them about that.
Oh, all the time. Yeah, we know that.
Because there's some that go into coaching like you have.
Yeah.
Right? But, you
still got to go to college to do it, I think, too. Like, you got to.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, no, I mean, like we said.
I did get a degree.
You did. Two?
Yeah,
two degrees, right? And that's something you're proud of.
Yeah, right? Of course.
No, I get it. I bring it up because I feel like it's a good reminder, right?
Yeah.
When you hit the spring break, like,
yes,
there's the fun that comes with spring break that we all think about, right? But for you all, it's also a chance for going on the road, and it sounds like you have some team bonding.
Ready. I know we love spring break. It's so fun to just like not have school. Like you get that like reset.
Because that's part of this too, right?
Yeah. We get to go on spring break. You're with your best friends. You're traveling. You're doing fun things. Today we're gonna do some puppy yoga post practice.
All right.
So adorable.
Wait,
I know.
Pause. What does that mean?
Pause. Get it? Good one.
Thanks. Thank you. I did not mean to do that.
Yes, you did. You definitely did. I feel like that's so in you. We are going to have some puppies come out to Pape and do a little yoga on the field.
That's awesome.
Yes, I know. We're very excited. And then what else are we going to do?
We need video and pictures,
obviously,
by the way.
Of course. They're going to be so cute. We saw
All
a little.
right.
They were,
Duck
I think
Drummond
they're 8
on
weeks.
Instagram, everybody.
Duck Drummond.
Duck
You got
Drummond.
it. I'll post something. So they'll come out, and then we've got a little trivia with just our team on the road. So that'll be exciting. I feel like our competitive juices will come out.
Like multiple, like what are our
I actually
categories?
don't. It might just be like pop culture, which is going to be kind of fun.
Okay.
Because I feel like our team can thrive in
We're
something like that.
not going to get like some Oregon lacrosse history in the trivia?
No, I don't think so. Maybe Nicole had thrown some.
Nicole?
Yeah, throw some secret facts in there.
We got some secret ones in there. That'll be fun.
Yeah, that will be. And then we're going to a women's professional hockey game.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's the first ever, TV televised game in
Cool.
Detroit. Yeah, so fired up.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I know. We do fun things.
Clearly.
Spring break.
There's your spring break
Yep.
recruiting pitch for Oregon lacrosse
Yep.
right there. Let's have a moment to
Okay.
Nicole.
Yes.
Good work on the operations
Yes,
and logistics, right?
I completely
It's hard
agree.
to move a lot of people.
It is, and to find, areas that can support a roster of 40 or travel roster of 40,
Wow,
that's a big group.
Yeah. Well, so spring break is coming up. It's also a Big Ten Network broadcast on the way when you face Ohio State in Columbus. It's a 3 o'clock start on Thursday Pacific time.
Yeah.
That is, and it's on the Big Ten Network. So into the teeth of Big Ten play.
Yeah, super excited.
Big Ten's still a very good conference.
Oh, very good. Yeah, Ohio State beat Northwestern last week. Yeah, they did. And they were
Ohio
good.
State's number 25 now.
Yeah, and they just had a tough game against Rutgers, and I think they lost. So it's just like anybody's game in the Big Ten. So, and it's a night game, which will be fun. We haven't had a night game like that. It's a 6 p.m. on the East Coast.
You like that?
We'll find out. I think it sounds fun.
It sounds fun.
Our team gets into that stuff, so I'm going to get into it. Yeah, we're having a great time.
Great.
Night game. Let's go.
Under the lights.
Yes,
sort of
under
a
the
thing,
lights.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Yep.
I get it. What's some of your keys? What do you want to see from your team on the road trip?
Just to continue to work on that confidence on game day. I think that's going to be awesome. Just our defense is continuing to grow and raise their standard when they show up against these big teams, and I think have that. And then just getting us to score more points.
Score
points.
More points.
Yeah.
Sometimes whenever I ask keys to the game, I realize it's like you could just say score more than the other team.
I know.
But it's
I
so
think that
true.
Too.
Like,
I think that too. And I'm like,
There's all the different things you do as a coach, and ultimately you're like, just score goals.
Score goals,
and
show
stop
up.
goals
That's it.
from being scored.
Yes.
I totally get it. Well, spring break reset, spring break trip, and then spring term is on the way.
Yep.
We were talking actually before, and I didn't want to forget to ask you about this. Like, you have guest coaches that come out too.
Yes.
Right? That's a cool part.
Super fun. That Eli, again, shout out to Eli. He does that. He helps find guest coach. Our players usually nominate a professor on campus that they have a class with that they really like, and so they come to the game, but we invite them to the pregame experience. So they come and have pregame meal with us. We get to chat with them. We usually hang out for an hour and a half with them, just get to know them, and then they come to the pregame speech in the locker room, and they hang out on the sideline the whole game. It's really fun. I love getting to know the professors. I mean, what they do, I'm like, wow, insane. So cool.
So
cool.
many different
we learn
fields.
so much from them. Yeah.
In so many different fields.
Yes.
Well, spring break, which means spring quarter coming up. Oregon lacrosse hitting the road. Ohio State, 3 o'clock Pacific time on Thursday, and then in Ann Arbor, Michigan on Sunday at 10 a.m. before returning to Pape Field next week. Best of luck.
Thank you so much. So
with the
excited.
trip. Thanks for being here. Thanks for adjusting to come on a little early this week.
Of course, right back at you.
We talked to Jess Drummond earlier this week before the Ducks hit the road to Ohio State. 3 o'clock, the start time for Oregon lacrosse. It's on Big Ten Network against Ohio State today. If you're live with us in the 1 o'clock hour, that's going to follow Oregon softball's adjusted game time here against Northwestern. Timeout on Duck Insider. When we return, Courtney Nagel's team is 11-6 this year, looking for an NCAA tournament berth, and they've got a critical one in Eugene, the only team that's in town this week on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
This is Meditating with Jan from Toyota. Soften your focus and imagine yourself off-roading in a Tacoma. Breathe in, breathe out, and go from dreaming it to driving it today. That's Jan's meditation.
Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
This is Meditating with Jan from Toyota. Soften your focus and imagine yourself off-roading in a Tacoma. Breathe in, breathe out, and go from dreaming it to driving it today. That's Jan's meditation.
Toyota, let's go places.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy, and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training, and the very next day, he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. My way of continuing my service is to help protect my community by being a responsible gun owner and by storing firearms safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
This message is for Shauna, my mom who just finished her high school diploma. I wanted to say I'm so proud of you for finishing school. You taught me it's never too late to achieve your dreams. I hope to make you as proud as you have made me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union, continues from the Country Financial Studio. We talked to Jess Drummond, broke down Oregon baseball, Oregon softball still in action. We'll keep you updated. But now checking in with an 11-6 women's tennis team. They're competing at the Student Tennis Center on Friday at 2 o'clock against Illinois, and then on Sunday at 11 a.m. against Northwestern. A team that's vying for an NCAA tournament berth in a really good Big Ten conference where seemingly everyone is ranked. Well, yesterday afternoon I sat down with Courtney Nagel, the Oregon women's tennis head coach, an All-American as a student athlete here at Oregon playing tennis, now coaching the team. Fun to catch up with Courtney Nagel. There's only one team in town during spring break, and it is Courtney Nagel's Oregon women's tennis team. You know, that's just funny the way that it worked out like that. Did you mean to schedule it that way, that you're going to be home for spring break, or did the Big Ten just catch you a break in this one?
Yeah, it was definitely not me scheduling it. The Big Ten scheduled it. So
it just works out.
Yep.
Works out. You like to be home for spring break?
Yeah, I mean, we don't really have a choice. It's kind of nice for the girls to have a break after finals.
Right.
It kind of we're one of the few teams in the Big Ten that are quarter school, so it is nice to have some downtime at home. Last year it was similar. We traveled on the front end and then competed at home on the back end, and I think it gives them some time to, you know, decompress from finals and recuperate from the first part of the season. So I think we're okay as long as we get to be outside. I think that's something that they really enjoy.
Right. Well, it looks that way. You always have the choice here at the University of Oregon. Sometimes the weather forces that choice, right? If you're going to play on the inside courts or the outside courts. But it looks like this weekend going to be great weather for 2 home matchups that we'll talk about. But, Coach, you mentioned something that I want to ask you, too. Like, you have finals in the midst of your season, and that creates a challenge, but also then you get the break, right, that you said. Like, imagine there's kind of a reset for a team that takes a lot of pride in academics, don't they?
Yeah, our girls were on their way to Iowa. Most of them had finished their finals. Some of them had to take them early.
Right.
But we traveled Wednesday of finals week to go out to Iowa and Nebraska, and they were so happy to just have a breather and not have to study when they were on the road. So a lot of them were like, what are we going to do with ourselves?
Right.
Like, we have so much extra time, like, are there any good books we could read, things, any new shows they could catch up on or things like that. So
to actually be a college kid.
Yeah.
Right. And play tennis, right? In the meantime, that's great. You're sitting at 11-6 overall, Coach, coming off a road split. Maybe let's start there. Just a road split. Where do you think your team's at right now?
I think we're competitive in every match that we're playing. I think, we had a really exciting match against Iowa where it was, there was a lot of momentum switches. We got the doubles point. They got up on us 2-1, and then Hinata, one of our freshmen, she's from Japan, she saved 3 match points in her third set to come back and think she won 6 straight games, and she might have even won, I think Pete was saying 12 straight points in the end of her match to even it out at 2-all. And then Patsy won her 3rd set pretty handily, and then Bridget clinched.
Wow.
But all that happened in the span of, 5 to 10 minutes.
Wow.
And that was a really exciting win for the girls just on the road. And then we turned around, drove 2 hours to Des Moines, stayed the night, slept in a little bit, drove the rest of the way to Lincoln, and then practiced and competed against Nebraska on Sunday. And it was warm enough to play outside, but there were high winds there, so we ended up playing indoors. And again, it was a great competitive battle. We got the doubles point and got off to a 3-1 lead. Tilda won handily, and then who else won?
It doesn't it amazing how it runs together like this, though?
Yes.
I mean, the fact that I gotta back up.
Tilda and Liv, sorry.
But I gotta back up. You even just gave us like the full play-by-play highlight recap of a 5 to 10 minute period where there were 4 courts that were being decided against Iowa. Like, I'm always amazed in your sport, and especially because tennis at the collegiate level is so team-oriented. Like, you have to pay attention to so many different things over the course of like a 5-minute period of time.
There's a lot that can happen. There's a lot of momentum swings, and sometimes you're running from, court to court. And usually, we have 2 coaches at the moment, so usually we each take 3 courts, and so we're going back and forth. But yeah, in Nebraska, we got up 3-1. It was Liv and Tilda who won their singles matches, and then it came down to the last 2 matches. Patsy and Bridget and their opponents were able to get it done. We weren't. But one thing that our team has done all season is bounce back, and every match that we've played, I think we've learned a little bit of something along the way.
Sure.
And every loss that we've taken has been very close.
Yeah.
A lot of 4-3s, a lot of could be 4-3s, or we're in position to knock off some really great teams. And, I think we've learned something from every single one of those matches. And one of the things that they've been really good at is bouncing back. And so I have so much confidence in our team and what they're able to accomplish, what they're capable of out on the court. And, I'm just looking forward to watching them, bounce back from this one and, continue to do what they've done all year, and that's be consistent in the way that they compete and the way they show up, and play gritty tennis, and they're feisty as well. Like, they're really fun to watch. We have a really fun team. They're energetic, and they really support each other and encourage each other. But there's some exciting things for those of you that haven't been out to watch yet. If you come on Friday or Sunday, you will definitely see some exciting tennis.
There's a lot of energy, and I'm glad that you mentioned the swings that can occur throughout a season, because that's really what it is, right? You're kind of riding a roller coaster over the course of a whole season. If I could, just to talk competition level for a minute, it seems like every time I'm reviewing a weekend for you all on the show, it's like, oh, that's a ranked team. Oh, that's a ranked team. That's a ranked team too. Your schedule's just littered with ranked teams. Some of that's the conference, some of it's not. Just the way that you schedule out this year, especially in the Big Ten, I'm curious twofold. One, it seems like Coach challenged yourself over the course of the non-conference scheduling, and then 2, the Big Ten seems like it's a good conference this year, to say the least.
Yeah, it's deep. It's everybody. I think most of all the teams are ranked at this point. Yeah. Maybe 1 or 2 might be trying to get their way in, but everybody that we're pretty much playing from here on out is ranked. And and we scheduled challenging in the non-conference because we wanted to build in and get ourselves ready and challenge ourselves. And I think it's gonna help us down the road. And I think everything that we did had a purpose in terms of the way that we scheduled. And so I think we're at a point where we're ready to continue. We've been knocking on the door, and we're ready to bust that door open now.
Well, I'm curious too, because you touched on some of your roster, and I was going to ask you about this. You have 2 upperclassmen, just 1 senior on the roster, very young team for the most part. And the old adage is that young teams get better as the season goes, right? It sounds like you're kind of seeing that from this group.
Yeah, absolutely. We only have we have one senior in Liv Simons and a junior, Tilda Yagare. Sorry if I botched that too much.
I thought that
Tilda.
was great. Personally, I was going to ask you, like, okay, Tilda, you got to say it for us. But in any case, like, you have a couple veteran leaders, but really it's a young team.
It is, and we have those two at the top of the lineup, and then we have freshmen at 3, sophomore at 4, freshman at 5, sophomore at 6. And so, some of the experiences that they're having out there, being match coming down to them, maybe the first time they've seen it, you know, or being in certain situations, it's their first time. And it's been cool to see when they've had that second time in that situation, how they approach it a little bit differently or what they've learned in that situation.
And talk about learning in those situations too, but I'd imagine too as a coach, like what a valuable experience it is now for all of them, right? Because they are going to learn things because they're getting the experience at a young age. How valuable can that be for just an entire career in a Duck uniform?
Absolutely. I mean, some players go their whole career without being the last match standing.
Right.
You know, and to have that experience as a freshman, you learn a lot. And, in getting to be in the lineup and play all those matches your freshman year. And it's a different kind of pressure when you're playing in a college match versus
no doubt
on the junior circuit. You're playing for something bigger than yourself. You have your teammates there to your left and your right. Fans, it's just a different environment. It's very exciting, but it's a different type of pressure.
Yeah,
a lot of them are
eyeballs
adjusting.
on you.
A lot of adjusting,
Yeah, I get it. We're talking tennis with Courtney Nagel. So 2 o'clock on Friday against Illinois, 11 a.m. on Sunday against Northwestern. Just some keys ahead for your squad, Coach. What do you want to see against the competition this weekend, but also moving forward?
Adjusting to outdoor tennis. I'd like to see us, continue to be dominant in doubles the way that we have been. I think we've had a lot of success. Whether we have a great start or not in the doubles point, I think we hang in there and we make it really tough for someone to put that first point on the board. So continuing with that, and just as we shift to outdoor tennis, building our points, being disciplined with our shot selection, but continuing to play together and really make whoever's on the other side of the court have to, go through a wall to beat us. And to have to undertake a challenge for that to happen. And, that's what I'd like to see.
Well, and boy, postseason's going to be here before we know it. I was also going to say, like, senior weekend's going to be here before you know it, just a couple weekends away. You're kind of down the home stretch here for your team, aren't you?
Yeah, we have this weekend, and then we hit the road to the Californias, and then we have our senior weekend against Wisconsin and Minnesota, and then we hit the road for the the big trek of
you've got
Ohio State and Penn State.
But I know where you're going because I was going to ask you this because then you get the Big Ten trek where the Big Ten tournament is in Columbus this year.
Columbus,
It's probably a long road trip, I'm guessing,
That
right?
would be a long road trip, yes.
Yeah. So here's to being on the road for a while and then a hopefully happy selection time, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Courtney Nagel, thanks for being with us. Did we miss anything? What else should fans know?
Come to the tennis center
on
Friday, 2 o'clock. Wear your sunscreen.
I like it.
Get ready to cheer.
I like it.
And enjoy some tennis.
It is sunscreen time. Transitioning to outdoor tennis, right? Get to enjoy it in Eugene. The only Duck team that's in town this weekend, women's tennis. Thank you, Coach. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Courtney Nagel and her women's tennis team, again, sitting at 11-6, and they're right around 500 in Big Ten play, looking for an NCAA tournament berth. 2 o'clock on Friday against Illinois, Sunday at 11 a.m. against Northwestern. Weather looks great. Come on out to the Student Tennis Center for the only team that's in town here this week. Coming up, I wish that Chris Clayton wasn't here, but he is. We'll talk about that coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
When life blindsides you with an injury, you need a team that's tough. For over 30 years, Morgan & Morgan has been fighting for the people. This season, we're proud to partner with Oregon Athletics. Because whether it's on the field or in the courtroom, we're both determined to do what it takes to win. Morgan & Morgan, proud partner of Oregon Athletics. Injured? Dial pound law. Morgan & Morgan, 10150 Southwest 6th Avenue, Portland. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Don't act like that. Don't wear that. Don't think that. I've heard everything you tell yourself every time you felt different. And I want you to know that you can be vulnerable and powerful. That taking care of your mind is taking care of everyone you love and who loves you. Love your mind. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. I'm Joey Mack, and again, I'm sorry that Chris Clayton is in fact in the Country Financial Studio. Chris?
Could have been in Fort Worth.
Could have been in Fort Worth.
Came up short.
But hey, you're one of the last 32 teams playing. As we talk with the voice of Oregon women's basketball, Chris Clayton. But I joke. Obviously, great to see you.
Yeah.
But I wish that we were reviewing the season in like a couple more weeks.
Right. You know what? It's the NCAA tournament. It's a lot about matchups. You hear that thrown around a lot, and you have to go and you play at the Longhorns, and they're the 1 seed. That's why we talk so much about hopefully Oregon gets a 7 or a 6 seed, because you don't want to play at a 1 seed, especially in women's basketball where there's, this year the top 4 1 seeds, maybe LSU you could put in there in top 5, are significantly better than the rest of the field. So to have to play Texas is difficult anywhere, and to have to play them on their home court in front of 10,000 people, it's extremely difficult.
Makes a difference.
And there's been coaches that have talked in press conferences around the nation this year about, hey, women's basketball, we should start going to neutral sites.
Would you like that now that you've been around it?
I think so. Look, it's hard to say that because from Oregon's perspective, it's like, oh, well, it's easy for you to say. You're the team that lost, because it is fun to have packed arenas of 10,000 plus people that are excited about the game.
That's the thing.
Which is great. But I will say part of the magic of the NCAA tournament is the thrill of upsets. And I think some people's complaints sometimes about the women's basketball tournament is, oh, there's no upsets. Well, that's because a lot of them are road games. They're true road games. Some of the most iconic college basketball upsets we've seen in history would not have happened if they had played at that person's home site. Yeah. So I think that would help. However, when you have the attendance numbers like they are for these home sites, I do get it, and it creates some home magic. When Oregon was hosting, those are lifelong memories that people have. They get to go to Matthew Knight Arena and watch the Ducks host. So I guess it depends on what side of the coin you are, but I do think there's something to consider that I think it really could help the parity and the balance in these matchups if they went to neutral sites.
I really see the pros and cons of both. I can tell so many stories about the vibe of an NCAA tournament on the men's side. And I even think back to – so I'll give you an example. Oregon earns the 12 seed to go to San Jose, right, after winning the Pac-12 tournament in that dramatic fashion. What was that, 6-7 years ago now? God, that's so long. Okay, but the point is, no Oregon fan really anticipated trying to book a flight to go to an NCAA tournament that year. Well, then you're in San Jose. You think, okay, this is great. But it's still a Thursday, right?
Yeah.
In your case, a Friday or a Saturday, And so the attendance numbers, I do think that's a big deal on the women's side. But I didn't think we'd get talking about this, but yet here we are. See, good to have you in the studio, Chris. I mean, I think there's pros and cons, though, for sure.
Yeah, there's no easy solution. I mean, because on the men's and women's side, whether you play the game neutral site or it's Oregon versus Virginia Tech in Austin, Texas, you're not going to have amazing attendance numbers. You're just not. You're playing on a Thursday or a Friday, and people are working, and it's short notice. I mean, it still takes getting used to knowing Selection Sunday that afternoon. You have no idea where in the country you're going to play later on that week. So that makes it difficult for fans. So I don't know if there's one perfect solution, but I do know if you are a top seed and you're hosting, you're like, hey, this is great.
This is great.
Home sites only.
And to your point, the Ducks have had that happen.
Yep.
Right? The Ducks have been the beneficiaries of that before. Hey, the Ducks were beneficiaries of even just a favorable location. The last time an Oregon team played a Vic Schaefer coach team, it happened to take place in Portland. Right? I mean, so look, stuff lines up sometimes, right? The universe just gives you that every now and then. So.
And Vic Schaefer said, of all the teams he's coached, Vic Schaefer is a terrific, one of the best coaches in the country. Mississippi State, Texas, he's had some amazing teams. He said of all the teams he's coached, the best he's ever coached was that 2019 team.
Really?
But they had to go to Portland to play Sabrina Ionescu and the Ducks. 13,000 fans going crazy. And he said, through all of his accomplishments, that's still the best team he had, but he lost to Kelly Graves and the Ducks 88-84. So that goes into
in the Elite Eight.
In the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
His best team he ever played was in the Elite Eight. They just didn't get the right matchup, which goes into what happened to Oregon this year.
That's saying something. That's really saying something. Chris Clayton with us. So, to zoom out here, it's always difficult at the end of the year when you don't win the last one, but only one team wins the last one, right? Still, I think a very successful season for Oregon women's basketball. You talk about getting back to the round of 32 in back-to-back years, right? Kelly Graves has really flipped the program back to being on the national radar. Just your summary of the season, Chris.
Wow. Well, I just to go back to early on in the season to think about where Oregon was at. You're thinking, wow, they lost Deja Kelly, and then early on in the year, Lisa Mevius gets hurt, and Philly Che graduates, and all those seniors from the previous season, Nani Falatea's gone, among others, and you're wondering, okay, how's it going to work here? There's certainly some talent on paper, but we'll see. I mean, he was always so high, Kelly Graves, last year on Katie Fizzo. There were times when she would play 10 minutes and have her flashes, but he was still saying, she's going to be one of the best guards in the Big Ten. And look, he's coached amazing point guards. I believed him, but it was like, all right, coach, we'll see.
Right.
And then we start the season. Oh, Katie had a good game. Okay. Oh, another good game. Oh, this is who she is. Eventually, you just start to realize she is who she is. And she took the role, and I think that was a crucial part early in the year to realize, oh, Oregon has a special point guard here. What a fantastic foundation it is for a program to have somebody like that, an electric playmaker, an offense that wants to run up and down the court. They found that in Katie Fizzo, and she just took it by the horns. So I think that right there was a big triumph because as the season's gone on, you just heard teams more and more around the Big Ten when they were game planning and scouting for Oregon. That point guard for the Ducks is special. And that's something the 1C Texas talked about. They asked the players in their press conference and head coach Vic Schaefer, and they said, man, Fizzo, she is the engine. Vic Schaefer said she's a 5-tool scorer. He said normally you say 3-tool in basketball, but more like baseball, a 5-tool scorer. That's how we describe Fizzo. So that's what is a big accomplishment this year. They had the emergence of her. And then you had others start to step up. Another young star, Hisa Tute, a backup, a role player, if you will, the first half of the season. She becomes a starter and then a dominant force, averaging 15 and 10. So I think you have that foundation of those two. You have Sophia Bell, who is an elite premier defender within the Big Ten. You have Ari Long, who I'm bringing up juniors because these are players with eligibility that can come back next year. She's a pest and a great defender that was top 10 in the Big Ten in steals. So you're beyond the 23 wins, which is the first time in 6 years they've won that many games. Last time they won that many games, 2020, 31-win team that should have been national champs. So you have the success, you have a team that made the 8 seed in the NCAA tournament, and you have young stars that only get better each and every time they touch the court. So just a long way to say, I guess trying to describe, I think, the biggest triumphs of this season, and there's just so much magic and momentum, I think, for this program.
Well, and you talk about how 2 of the best players being sophomores can be a real value piece for the Ducks moving forward. And meanwhile, I watch that a lot of the great teams, particularly in the Big Ten, were filled with seniors this year, right?
Yes.
I think the Big Ten opens up a little bit more next year.
It does. One thing that is striking is there's a lot of great young guards in the Big Ten, but there's a lot of teams that are going to have to do reloading around the Big Ten. There's a lot of teams you look team by team, and they're like, oh, they're losing this piece. They're losing this piece. Okay, that opens a window a little bit. And it's not to say, hey, Oregon's going to be Big Ten champs next year, maybe. But I think when you look at returning 4 starters, which they are right now, and obviously, as I say stuff like this, we're in the era where you never know for sure. Right, but what we say right now, what we've heard players say in press conferences, we expect, we'll see all those players back next year for the Ducks, and that would be 4 returning starters. That right there is already a boost. Yeah. And 2 of those returning starters are the Ducks' leading scorers. And then you look on the bench, and Sarah Rambis has another year of eligibility, and Avery Kane, and they bring in one thing just to look forward to, the recruiting class. It's a fantastic recruiting class, top 20 in the nation, led by forward and 6'4" Amelia Kristevsky. So you watch the Texas game and you think, Oregon could use some size. I think we can all see that, right? There's no doubt Texas is insane in terms of their physicality and presence. Well, Oregon's got some reinforcement on the way with a 6'4" freshman in Amelia Kristevsky.
Helps out Ahisa Tute in the post.
It helps.
A lot.
Yeah, there's so much pressure on Ahisa to collect every rebound because Oregon as a team wasn't an elite.
And she often did.
She often did. That was what's incredible. They weren't elite rebounding as a team, but they'll have some more, and I think the guards are only going to get better and better rebounding the ball as they did over the course of this season. I mean, there were much of that Texas game where Oregon was rebounding well, especially the first half. They were pretty much toe-to-toe. So I think when you think about everybody that will be coming back and the freshmen coming in, there's exciting times ahead, and it's just about that trust that they're going to build here as we head to the offseason. They're going to start playing together. They're going to do 5-on-5s. They're going to get to know each other, and exciting things ahead.
All right, halftime with Chris Clayton. We're going to get a timeout, come back. Chris put together a great video with some standout moments. We get to revel in it a little bit coming back.
What a year.
It was a great year. I'm glad that we get to talk about it, and you're always wishing that you were playing longer. It's just the way that it is. Back after this with Chris on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial.
Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
How serious is youth vaping? Irreversible lung damage serious. 1 in 10 kids vape serious, which warrants a serious conversation from a serious parental figure like yourself. Not the seriously know-it-all sports dad or the seriously smart podcaster. It requires a serious conversation that is best had by you. No, seriously. The best person to talk to your child about vaping is you. To start the conversation, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Talk Oregon Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack and Chris Clayton in the Country Financial Studio. Two broadcasters that wish we were still on the road with the Sweet 16 beginning today for the men. Would start tomorrow for the women, but hey, it's the way that it works out sometimes. And now looking ahead toward next season, before we do that more so, Chris put together a great edit. And we do this every year of different highlights and standout moments. So before I even ask you about standout moments, we might as well just listen to them, right? Might as well just listen to them. Some of the standout moments from the Oregon women's basketball season.
Fakes, wants to drive, dishes, corner, Fiso, three. Yes! Katie Fiso! Free throw for Mia Jacobs, and the Ducks have 67. Got it! What is happening? The corner to Bell. Left wing long, three for the tie. Oh, she hit it. A set here. Baseline inbound. Get it into long left corner. She'll pop a three. Oh, she buried it. Of course she did. The SoCal native. Oregon beats USC 71-66. To the middle of the key. Behind the back to Jacobs. Oh, lays it in. What a highlight. Atute, 2 seconds, 1 second. Three-pointer at the buzzer. Bakes it in! Goes to Atute. The right corner, Bell launches another three. And why not? She's feeling it. 3 threes in a row. 68-61. Oregon takes down number 16 Maryland. Fiso with a basket to her right. Into Atute. Back to Fiso. Circles middle of the key. Left side of the cup. Lays it in. Oregon leads. And into Jackson. 7 seconds. She's double teamed. Lost it. Fiso with a steal. 4 seconds. Over the timeline. 2-1. Foul with 1.4. Looks inside. Back to the trailing Williams. Another three. Yes! Come on, Janiyah Williams. Williams drives. Stop. Little jumper. Oh! Williams again. She's matched a career high. Fiso with the shot clock at 15. Crossover between the legs. Series of moves. Floater. Oh, she puts it in. That's ridiculous. The Cardiac Ducks with another banger. Uh-oh, stolen. Here goes Akanawa the other way. Layup. Oh, it's blocked. Are you kidding me? Atute with a LeBron-esque chase down rejection. That's incredible. Akana was one of the 10 seconds of the game. Fiso between the legs. Free throw line. Kick. Kane. Top of the arc. Three. Cash! She hit it. 73-68. Kane dagger. We'll go to Long at the free throw line. She goes to Atute. Left side of the rim. Score it. And the foul. There's no answer. Clock expires. And the Ducks win. On to the second round.
Bravo, sir. Good season. Fun. It's fun to think about the highlights. I mean, you know, we call them highlights for a reason in our industry, right? But that's what makes this fun.
It does.
A lot of great moments this year.
Definitely. I was editing that on the plane ride home, and I found myself just sitting there smiling at my laptop, just a huge smile, just at all the fun moments. You go all the way back to Thanksgiving in November, and you have that big close win at Auburn, and then they just kept – it was an avalanche from there of close games. They become the Cardiac Ducks with all these insane close wins and moments where they let leads go. So that comes in the name Cardiac Ducks, that it was up and down, and that often comes with a young team. But more often than not, they came out on the high side, and there's just so many incredible individual games. You had a game where Ari Long took over with 3 threes in a row against USC. Sophia Bell hits 3 threes in a row in the win at Maryland. Hisa Tute just absolutely dominated multiple games. Janiyah Williams came in, and they needed every single point from Williams in the win over Nebraska at home. So I think it was a testament to the depth and the roster that Kelly Graves built, that they had so many different players step up and make winning plays down the stretch, and it made for a thrilling year.
Do you think that we're going to look back next year, even 2 years from now, and be like, hey, all of these close games, some that went the wrong way, as you alluded to, I think we're going to look back at this year and be like, this was a formative year for players like Katie Fiso, Hisa Tute moving forward. I don't know. It's valuable experience in my book.
I think so, too. Sometimes I'm like, well, maybe I got green and yellow tinted glasses.
You do,
on
but that's
okay.
About that.
But it really is. I mean, they were so close to being a team at a different level from a national perception perspective. If they had closed the door in the win over Michigan, they were right there. You could ask Michigan. They easily could have lost that game. And, the Wisconsin game that they lost on the road, and look, you're right, shoulda, woulda, coulda, they lost those games. But with how young they are, they were this close, just an inch away, a few possessions away from being a team that probably would have been nationally ranked, and the national conversation, I think, would have been a little bit different. But when you dig deeper and you see what they were able to do, there was actually a stat. I didn't check it at the end of the year, but late in the season, there's an analytics site, and you can look at what a team's numbers are when they lose. In losses, Oregon was one of the most efficient teams in the country, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So when you take a team's number from losses, what are their offensive and defensive ratings?
Is it factored into the Ken Palm luck rating?
Kind of,
Yeah,
yes,
similar,
exactly.
yeah.
So what that says to me is Oregon's not getting blown out. I mean, outside of UCLA beat them by 21, that's what UCLA does. Texas did, of course. But outside of that, Oregon was in every game, and it was in one of the toughest games in the country. So if you don't commit an illegal screen here, you don't commit a bad turnover, you stay out of foul trouble, you just clean little things up, all of a sudden Oregon's a host team if they just have a few minutes of play go differently throughout the season. And I think that was a big topic of conversation. Even after the game, you talked to Trey Simmons after the Texas game, and he said that was part of the message that Coach Graves had to the locker room. Is he thanked the seniors, but he also said to the young players, hey, these are why these games the rest of the year really matter. We wouldn't have to play at number 1 Texas if we had done X, Y, and Z in these other close games. And the conversation could be, hey, Oregon's hosting at Matthew Knight Arena. They were right there through their triumphs. They also had their close, near losses that were exhilarating. But that's the next step, is to just be a little bit more consistent and bright things ahead.
But the future's bright.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Future's really, really bright. Well, now we turn the page from basketball season. It's going to be football soon.
That's wild. It really is. We're flying through to April.
Spring football is less than a month away. Spring football game, I should say. Spring football's here. Spring football game is less than a month away, Chris.
That's amazing.
Yeah. You're going to be there.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
There's always something here. I mean, it's the
something.
Oregon Athletics Department. There's going to be a new team. There's going to be new postseason highs and lows, and it's right there on the horizon.
That's right.
Softball, lacrosse, people are all in the mix right now.
Well, thanks for another great season behind the mic. We got to hear it. I think I can tell everyone you're coming back next year, right?
I'll be back.
All right. Yeah. Chris Clayton.
I'm not going in the portal. I'm here.
Chris Clayton back for another year. I love it. Thanks, buddy.
If you'll have
Appreciate
me.
you taking the time. Oh, you're absolutely.
Thank you.
We're glad that you're not hitting the portal. Thanks, buddy.
No thanks.
Timeout when we come back. An update on Oregon softball. Also men's golf, women's lacrosse. A lot going on today around the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
We know you turn to the Duck Store for all your game day needs. And for students at the University of Oregon, it's even more. Class supplies, jobs, a seat on our board, a place to take a quick coffee break. Because we're your student-first, non-profit college store, every purchase you make directly supports the very community we serve. From working at our counters to studying in the classroom, from directing our stores to cheering in the stands, the people we serve, the students, are the very people who are the Duck Store.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
In sitcoms, when someone has a problem, they just blurt it out and move on.
Well, I lost my job and my parakeet is missing. How was your day?
But the real world is different. Managing life's challenges can be overwhelming. So, what do? We get support. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have mental health resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. See how much further you can go when you take care of your mental health.
I'm coming home to the place that I remember, back to the land of my first love. Would you spread wide your arms for this wayward son? I left my heart in Oregon.
We're back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack here with you inside the Country Financial Studio. Let's begin in our updates in our final segment. Men's golf is playing at the Goodwin today. For those of you that don't know the Goodwin, it's perhaps one of the best annual golf tournaments of the year. It's at Stanford Golf Course. They go almost every year, the Oregon men's golf team does. They're competing in what is absolutely a stacked field today at the Goodwin. The usual lineup will go for the Ducks. Aiden Kraft coming off a great performance at the Duck Invitational. This is a pretty standard spring break setup for Casey Martin's team. They play at Eugene Country Club for a couple days hosting their tournament, then go to the Goodwin in the back half of spring break. 2 tournaments in 1 week for Oregon men's golf. They got on the golf course today. We'll have an update for you tomorrow and on GoDucks.com here this evening. It's also lacrosse game day for the Ducks. It's a 3 o'clock start on Big Ten Network, where Oregon lacrosse will play Ohio State. Just another top 25 team in Ohio State. That's kind of the way that it's been for Oregon lacrosse. Everyone in the Big Ten is really, really good. 3 o'clock, Oregon will take on Ohio State. And it's gone final for Oregon softball. If you missed it earlier, the Ducks adjusted their start time today against Northwestern. The number 18 Ducks did fall to Northwestern. It just went final here a couple minutes ago. Northwestern winning 11-3 in 6 innings. You don't see that from Oregon softball very often. Lindsey Grind takes just her 4th loss of the season. Duck offense was a little bit cold, and I think Oregon will tell you that there were just too many defensive errors in this game. And to be honest with you, I think any softball fan would tell you that 8 combined errors between the two teams is just too many. There was some bad weather in the forecast, which is why the Ducks and Wildcats moved the game up to 11 a.m. today. The rest of the schedule for the weekend is staying consistent. 4 o'clock Pacific time tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific time on Saturday for Oregon softball's 3-game set against Northwestern. But yeah, a tough one today for Oregon softball. Slid the game time up, and weather was still brutal, and to be honest, just keeping track of it, Northwestern took advantage of those Duck mistakes more than Oregon took advantage of the Northwestern mistakes, particularly defensively. Well, that does it today. Tomorrow, Jerry Allen's in the Country Financial Studio. That's basically the whole show. It's going to talk to Jerry. See you tomorrow.
Snakes, zombies, sharks, heights.